All right, we are live. Greetings, fellow traders. Let me get this tweet out for everybody so everybody joined in here. 1 second. Good, good, good. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So let me. All right. Well, I hope everybody had a great trading day today, and happy Monday, May the 4th. May the 4th be with you. Star Wars Day. So cool stuff. All right, so today we are continuing our discussion on day trading channel types. Yesterday we talked about Bollinger Bands, which is a type of channel formation, and today we're going to talk about Keltner Channels. Of course, we've talked about this in the past, but this is all going to tie together nicely this week. So just stay with us here. Keltner Channels are a cool tool. Before we get to that, though, everything we're going to talk about tonight is for educational purposes only and not investment advice. So please take a moment to review this disclaimer. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Good, good, good. All right, let's check and see where we left off in the market today, and then we'll go over the topic, and then we'll take questions and chart requests. So here we are, SPX monthly chart. So we're up 12 points today. So the monthly chart is starting to push off a little bit. This is the second trading day of the month. We had a very bullish April as we reclaimed, right? We reclaimed 61.8% of the down move, right? So nice move here, right? Just a little more than 61.8%. And now we're that was an inside month, right? Because we're contained by that prior month. Now we're in a double inside month right now, so we're contained by this candle. We're still below that mid Bollinger Band. Talked about that yesterday. So let's see if we can get back above that. Weekly chart. Okay, so we're coming off of a shooting star candle on the weekly. Okay, we're still below the 30 weekly moving average. That shooting star candle, I see a little bit ominous going into this week, right? We filled the gap, left the shooting star. And today, they gapped down a little bit. It was getting a little bit scary at the open, and then they kind of came back in a little bit. So that's what we're seeing so far this week. Daily chart, woo. Let me get the levels up for everybody. There we go. All right, so daily chart on the SPX. This is what we talked about yesterday. All right, so one of the things we said was, okay, we broke down on Friday. Right, so now where are we heading to, right? Are we going to be super duper bearish? Well, if anybody, had puts over the weekend, you can get a little profit over, on the open today. Of course, they bought the dip today. Is what it is. It's a choppy day, and then they push at the end of the day. That's where the real dip buying kind of came in, right? So we're contained right now between the 8 and the 21 moving averages, EMAs, and also the cloud, right? So we were thinking, right, we're kind of in this kind of some congestion zone, this prior congestion zone right here that we might find a little bit of support. So we'll see how that goes going into tomorrow. We'll take a look at the futures in a little bit. Here's the a look at the intraday price action. Right, so it was scary at the open, right? So we actually caught a nice short at the open. We always pointed out on the live stream. On SPX and Apple this morning. So just, it looked like there might be a little momentum to the downside. So we got a nice move down. That formed your 15 orb this morning. Then they bought the dip pretty quickly off of that, right? Inside 15. For a quick 15 orb break, then we chopped around the levels right here, gave you a nice little hammer to give you kind of a catapult move into the open, right? A little bit of a bull flag, and then they pushed it up into the close. So, pretty interesting price action today. Lots of chop for a good portion of the day. I mean, really, if you look at it, the chop was really, through all of this. I mean, it was just nasty, right? And then it started to break out at the end of the day. So, but I'll start with that hammer right there. If you go to the 5-minute chart, these are the levels that we provide to our members. You can see how important that these play out, right? So when we gap down, right, we got into some volume levels right here. This is kind of a key area, right? This volumetric low, right? There's a lot of volume that came in here. We base that off of the SPY volume. We do a calculation to get those. And they gave us a nice hammer right here, and that follow-up hammer that gave us a nice push here to the S1 level. Chopped around the 15 orb high like we saw. Then it gave you that nice, look at that. What was that, guys? We talked about this, right? The 3 white soldiers right there. So it gave you a nice move up here over the 15 orb high, got back up to the prior day's highs, held the volumetric levels, broke above it, right? And then once we cleared these levels right here, right, it was essentially smooth sailing to the upside, right? We held the prior day's close. We filled the closing gap on that. We faded the gap up here, the open gap, and we faded the closing gap right there. So pretty cool price action today, right? We ended up at this this daily pivot level here on the SPX. Let's take a look at the S&P futures and see how they're coming in this evening. So yeah, so we're up 20 points on the S&P futures here. So pretty strong going into tomorrow so far, right? So from the lows here, we could see that we are holding this this upward trend line. Okay, so that's generally pretty bullish right now. We cleared this level right here. This is an important level to get above. Okay, so we got above that right here with a little bit of volume here tonight. Okay, so nice candle right there. We chopped a little bit, gave an ascending triangle. We broke out of there here, and let's see what they have in store for us this evening. Now, careful, right? So if we do break down below this trend line, right, we've got a potential prior resistance level right here, which may serve as support. Below that, we might kind of come back down and test some others. So let's see what they have in store for tomorrow. But futures up about 20 points here today. A little bit tricky, right? Because if you go to the daily here on the S&P, the volume was down today, right? So it was a down volume day, right? So here, right? So a real down volume right there, but down volume day. So they held support. So we'll see. We might just be in the chop zone for a little bit. Again, for me to get really bullish again, I'd like to see us clear these levels again, and then ultimately get over the 200-day moving average here on the futures. So that's what we're seeing here going into tomorrow. So good stuff. All right, well, let's take a look. And today we're going to be continuing our discussion on day trading channels with day trading channel types. Okay, these are all different tools that we can pull up in our Thinkorswim, or if you use TradingView, you can pull it up in there too. So Keltner Channels. Okay, so today yesterday we talked about Bollinger Bands. Today we're talking about Keltner Channels. Okay, so let's talk about that. Let's go to the Keltner Channels. These are really good to see. I like to see these on the bar charts. So I'm just going to kind of switch over here to the bar chart. And one of the cool parts about the Keltner Channel is it's very similar to the Bollinger Band. The only difference is, right, instead of using the exponential, it defaults. Let's pull them up again here. So we got the Bollinger Band right here, right? The Bollinger Bands. Oops, that pulled up the wrong thing. Okay, so the Bollinger Bands, using the simple, right? You can use, I think that Thinkorswim uses the simple on the as a default for both the Bollinger and the Keltner channels. Sometimes they switch them out, right? The Keltner channels oftentimes are an exponential moving average, but let's just keep it as it is as the default on it, so we can just go with that. Okay, so let's take a look and see. So the Keltner channels, we put those on there. It's just look up Keltner in there. You can see the default with that. The one that we like to use here is we just use the 1.5 and the 14. Okay, simple. All right, so we kind of keep it in there. So the Keltner channels are really cool. They give us a nice clue, and there's a lot of strategies. We've talked about some strategies in the past using these. One of the things I really like about it is if you get a nice thrust outside the Keltner channels, right? A lot of times you see a pullback inside, right? So here you can see, here you have a green day over here over the top of the Keltner channel. We pull back the next day. Green day over here, we pull back the next day. Green candle over here, you pull back the next day. So it gives you, what it does is it gives you a lot of reversion moves, right? So the same thing with this one. Right, this uses essentially the same tools. A lot of times, let me show you what the difference is if we do go exponential on this. If we go exponential, right, just kind of tightens it up a little bit, makes it a little bit more of a kind of a sensitive type move to price, which is typically the definition of the exponential moving averages, right? So the main difference here between this and the Bollinger Bands is that instead of using a standard deviation move, this uses an ATR. It uses an average true range. So it kind of gives you just a nice little channel type formation as it's moving around, and it's cool, right? There's a couple other things. Another strategy that you could use with the Keltner channels is reversion moves, right? When you get back to the mid Keltner channels, a lot of times it can be good for a bounce, especially if you're holding trend. Right, so you can see here, right, we pulled back, right, we closed above the Keltner channel, pulled back in. We hit the mid Keltner channel, good reversion move, gives you a move to the upside. Came back again, right, bounced to the upside, closed above it, came back in. It's a really cool kind of back and forth type tool that you can use. You can see the S&P futures do respect it a lot, especially here with the high volatility. Now, when you close below here, right, with huge volume, you got to be careful, right? You really want to look for a reversal type setup when you're well below the you're well below them, right? So you can see here, you get a move. This was that Morningstar, reversal essentially type day. It's not here on the ES, right? But that kind of came back in here, and then you just ride the lower channel down. One of the other ones too, I'll pull up one of the cool ways to look at it too. We like to look at this in our newsletter. We analyze this, the NASDAQ every week, and compare outliers on what's going on the NASDAQ. But it's very powerful on the weekly chart. It really gives you some big clues, especially when you close, when you have a big thrust at or above it, right? So let's take a look at a couple different stocks here that use the Keltner channels here on the weekly chart. So one of the things that we like to look at, right, is the weekly, right? So the weekly is very powerful. It gives you very good clues into what's going on. So with Apple, right, you can see here, when we thrust below and we close below, a lot of times we do see a reversion move, right? So especially on the weekly. So here, before the huge volatility, you get a big thrust below it. Usually you get a nice bounce up off of that, right? So you kind of push down here, came back up, push down here, came back up, push down here, kind of came back up a little bit, right? And then with these, then you could also combine that with your RSI tools like we were talking about yesterday. So again, big move right here, and we'd like to see what these are doing on the Keltner channels. We want them to be bullish, right? We want to be in the upper end of those channels, and the weekly chart can give you some very, very good areas of potential resistance and support, and some reversion areas. So that's one of the big things with the Keltner channels is the reversion moves back to them, and a lot of times you can see a thrust off of it. So here, right, we came back up to the Keltner channel, upper shadow right there, so that gave a move down. We came back up to the Keltner channel, right, pushed down the next week, and then ultimately came back up, and now we're above it, right? So that is getting bullish again. So let's go back to the daily chart one more time. Okay, and a lot of folks actually like to use the stochastics with these with the Keltner channel as opposed to the RSIs. So that is another tool to look at right there. So we could just pull up a fast stochastic with this one, right? Just the defaults on there. And when you get the crossovers on those, a lot of times those can give you, when you get this nice kind of momentum-ish type crossover move, you can you tell that we're ready to get back in the Keltner channel right here. So we got a nice smooth move right here, right? And a lot of times that helps a little bit if we switch that to the slow, right? Or the full. Same thing. Okay, so you get a nice move right here. So you can see we got this nice crossover here on the stochastic when we were below the Keltner channel. Same thing happened here, right? We got below the Keltner channel on the daily on Apple. We got a nice crossover right here, back through it, and that got us back to the mid Keltner channel, right? Same thing here, right? We had a crossover here on the Morningstar reversal. That got us back up to the next level. Same thing up here, right? We crossed over up here, right? Then we had a crossover on the full slow stochastic that got us back down to those Keltner channels. So it's a cool combination to use these two tools in harmony. So definitely want to keep an eye on, especially for your swing trading, but you can also use it on the day trading side too. So if we go just say to the 15-minute chart here, you can kind of see very similarly, we push down below here, your Keltner start to cross up again, or your stochastics start to cross up again here, you get to the mid Keltner channel, right? We didn't get quite above it here, but we can watch Apple here to see if it gives a reversion move based on the stochastic. Same thing happened up here, right? We pushed above it, we finally broke down here on your Keltner channel and worked its way back. So pretty cool stuff, and it's a good tool. And then tomorrow we're going to look at another cool tool as well that uses both of these together. So just a couple strategies there that if you like it, it may help your trading, and I hope it does. Or if anything, it just kind of gives you a cool tool to show that, hey, the market looks at things in different ways, and algos look at things in different ways, and so it's a good perspective to see how other traders look at things. So you can kind of get a little bit more of a macro view of what's going on in the market there. So anyway, I hope you guys found that helpful. At this point, if anybody has any questions or chart requests, please feel free to plug those in the chat window. We'll get through as many as we can and try to wrap up as early as possible so we can all get a good night's sleep and have another awesome trading day tomorrow. So good stuff. All right, so Mark sent in a few via Twitter, so let's get back to our candlestick charts. Apple, by the way, nice inside day today, so we'll keep an eye on that one. So we got pins, so Pinterest on the radar going into today. Wow, that is a nice one. The earnings coming up tomorrow after the close. So nice engulfing candle today. It's not a bullish engulfing reversal, right? This is kind of more like this one right here. Because we're going sideways right here. But this is a nice breakout candle right here. I would have loved for it to close above that pivot level right there, but it might get some momentum on this one into tomorrow. That could be bullish for a day trade tomorrow, and definitely one to keep an eye on, right? So this actually popped up on our radar today intraday. And gave some nice moves. Kind of look at the intraday price action right here. A nice little inside 15 up, right? You had a 5 candle pullback, but then it held your ADMA and continued to work its way up after the close on that one. So nice move on that, and still holding above the cloud and closed over a major pivot level right here. So let's even clear that guy, right? And the next level's up. You got an open gap right here around 2250. So that's definitely one that we're going to be looking at. Mastercard, it's hanging in there, right? So couple day pullback right here to the 50 moving average in your 21. We're kind of stuck in the cloud right here. Let's even get back above the cloud, get back over the 200, and try to work its way back up here. Just be careful of these credit card companies, right? A lot of folks are starting to place bearish bets on them under the assumption that a lot of people are not going to be able to pay their credit cards, and so that's definitely something to keep an eye on to see how that affects MA, V, AXP, DFS, things like that. So let's see what kind of reports we get from those. Good stuff. And then Shirley sent in a few for us via email, so always appreciate that. So let's see. So we got ATVI. ATVI was strong today, right? Nice move. Very bullish at the open. Had a great close. Earnings coming up tomorrow after the close. We got a lot of earnings after the close, cool earnings after the close tomorrow. I know you asked about EA too, so just kind of keep an eye on these game stocks today. This was strong. We're seeing some nice earnings runs on a couple of these. This is a nice, ATVI has been doing this a lot recently. Big move at the open, pulls back to the 15 orb and gives another move back up. Right, it did it. Pretty much did it here too. I believe the 15 orb is right there. Big move up, pull back to 15 orb, moves back up. Right, so when it's bullish, it has been liking to do that intraday, so which is pretty cool. So just keep an eye on it right here. If it wants to gap and go, let's even get over that 68.32 for earnings. CLX. Okay, CLX, nice move right here today as well. Not increasing volume, but decent volume, obviously after earnings. So I guess kind of the big pivot level here is 198.75. We closed above that today in kind of a sneaky sort of way. So it does look bullish going into tomorrow. So definitely want to keep an eye on. So I like that breakout move, looking pretty good there. Team. All right, team, finally, look at this. That broke out here after earnings. We finally got a nice breakout move on that one. Wow, nice candle on that. Let's keep that on the bullish radar as well. Again, just a beautiful move on that one. And again, a big candle like that, I would expect to see a consolidation day, but a push over those highs could give a nice move into tomorrow. So definitely going to keep that on the bullish radar. A really nice one there with the volume. And what else? We've got Baidu. Yeah, so Baidu, guys, this is great, right? A couple of these we talked about last night, and it looks like we got a couple on here for Baba too. So Baidu is one that we were looking at. Remember, we drew this on here. We wanted to see if we got a bearish candle that closed above this channel range. We couldn't quite get there, right? The volume wasn't there, and the candle wasn't there, so we got a lower shadow off of that one. But it did give some bearish price activity intraday today, right? Couldn't hold its 15 orb high, came down, chopped sideways, broke down below the 15 orb low for a bit of a move right there. And then Kroger. So Kroger's getting tight here, so we're getting kind of a triangle pattern. Let's see if it comes up. Oh yeah, so look at this craziness right here. Let's clear that out a little bit. So it wasn't this crazy diamond pattern right here, but right now we're basically triangulating, right, on Kroger. So let's kind of see how that holds right here. Okay, so getting pretty tight in here. Let's see if we can get a breakout candle one way or the other on Kroger. Good stuff. Rocky, what's going on? Baba, let's take a look today. So Baba is a great one. I know Archibald pointed this out last night. Kind of asked where we could go, and one of the things we pointed out was the open gap down here, and we hit that today. Nice bearish catchable moves today, and then also the 200-day moving average. We held the cloud, so it basically accomplished its entire mission in one day today, and it's a good thing, right? Because it's got a little bit crazy after hours here. But nice move down at the open, nice sideways action, right? And then give a nice push down after it broke the 15 orb below today. So pretty decent there. Even when some stuff was rallying, it was generally pretty weak today. So definitely on the radar there. SPY again, same thing as SPX. The only issue with it today is pretty low volume. Right, we've seen a lot of decreasing volume since the Corona crash here. There's the big volume in there, so kind of decreasing today. It's about as big as high as the volume as it was, pre-crash. So let's see. Just because it's low volume doesn't mean that it won't continue to work its way up. So I like how it held a couple support levels right here. Again, key level, next pivot level to get above is at 194.88. So let's kind of keep an eye on that level for that one. And then X marks the spot. So this thing, huge inside day today, definitely been on the radar. Big volume yesterday. You can see I even have an alert on this one too if we can break above these pivot levels here. It's getting interesting right there, right? I like the inside day. I like the volume that's coming in here. Let's see if we can clear these levels, and then it could get really interesting. You can see here we even have a fib fan line right here. So that's like a big cluster if this thing can get above, right? It might be able to work its way up to the 200-day moving average. So we're going to keep an eye on that one. Just watch out for your ex-dividend day for a potential pullback on that. The Nest Baba, yep, absolutely. So some bearishness here on Baba today, right? Don't forget the reason, the headlines for the reason for the bearishness today in the market was because of the tensions, right? More tensions with China, right? So so we got that going on today. So being in a Chinese name is always a little bit difficult here. So Baba did pull back, right? It filled its open gap right here, tagged the bottom of the cloud, left the lower shadow. It's still below its 200-day moving average, so we want to see it get above that. If it starts getting weaker, right, your next level is below or right here, this 185 level, right? Potential support right there, and then below that you've got your open gap to contend with there. So definitely something to keep an eye on there. AVLR. Let's take a look. Upper shadows right here on AVLR. So again, same things right here. This is just showing that it's struggling, right? So let's see if we can get above those pivot levels and try to get some strength into that. Doesn't mean it's bearish. It just means it's having trouble breaking out. UNH. Inside day today, but still holding the that ADMA level. So let's see if we can get an inside day up on that one. Knee, the nice who say knee. Yeah. So again, those lower shadows right there. It looks like almost a tweezer bottom right here, right? You've got these two guys right here that are about the same level. So it seems to be holding that as a little bit of support. We got back above the cloud today. Decreased volume, but it might want to try to test that moving average cluster. But right now, still kind of choppy. We got that nice breakdown out of the triangle for a trade. Right, so you got this increased volume here on the breakout of the triangle, right? Move back down to the cloud for you for a decent, 234 down to 226 for almost a 10-point move. So now you just kind of see how it holds there. INO. Inside day on INO today, low volume. Just be careful with that one. So it's up a little bit, up 95 cents today. So just see if you can hold there and get and stay above the cloud. And then you've got work. Work still in the chop zone, right? We're just waiting on this one to give us a breakout candle. Try to get above here, maybe try to get below those levels right there and work back to the cloud. And then MDB. Okay. I like MDB right here. One of the things I see here is if we put a clear chart on this, is this to this, right? So it's a nice geometric level right here. It could be working on a sideways, type head and shoulder pattern, so it might come down a little bit, maybe to the cloud. Right, kind of work its way up here, and then look at that point for a possible breakout above those levels. If it does it before that, still might give you a nice move up to here. Right, it's closing gap above, and and those highs. So that could be definitely something to keep an eye on for MDB. And good. And then MVIS. Wow, huge move today. Big gap on volume. Okay, that's a huge move. I know you guys have been mentioning this stuff, but yeah, look at that microvision. Big move up right there. Let's see if we get any follow through on that after that massive volume today. 206 million shares traded today on this one. So see if we get another push above today's high. That would be your next level to break through on that one. And it's actually up 30 cents after hours too. So yeah, so continue to drift up after hours. So yeah, definitely keep it on the radar there. Pretty neat there for a penny stock. I love that stuff. And the DSS. Double inside day. So that's giving you, a lot of volume coming in right here. Right, looks like they have some sort of, earnings coming up. Oh, we're looking at the weekly chart right there. Sorry, guys. But DSS, okay, hanging out in these levels right here. So let's see if that can continue to work its way out of this triangle right here. So it's just kind of getting tight in that range right there. Good. ZEK, what's going on? Glop. Yeah, so Glop looking pretty good right here. You got earnings coming up pretty soon. It is holding the bump line right here with a pretty bullish day. So see if we can try to work its way up to the next levels there. But yeah, generally showing some strength to the upside. Oxy. Okay, yeah, so Oxy again. A lot of the oil names are starting to get on the bullish radar today too. So let's see, it's holding these geometric levels right here. We're still range bound. I do want to see this thing break out. It looks like we're going to have to wait for earnings on this one to see if it can give us some direction. Lyft, bearish today. Bearish radar today. It's got earnings coming up too. This gave a great setup intraday today. I love the gap down. I love the bearishness follow through today. It gave a nice move down, got real tight here, right in this range, and then broke down today. Just a beautiful move on Lyft today. So you can see it had room to get here back down to the cloud. And it was nice. So let's see how it holds that cloud, and we got earnings coming up on that one. But beautiful move down today. And then GDX. Yeah, interesting today, right? So market strong, gold is strong, and it broke out of this that bull flag we were looking at right here. So a little bit of it's pretty decent volume today too. So look for a breakout over today's highs if the market decides to get weak a little bit tomorrow. Good. Mike, what's happening? Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it. Good evening. Netflix. Yeah, let's take a look at Netflix. So yeah, it's working its way up a bit here. Let's see if we get some lines on this. Yep. So basically coming out over this bull flag right here. So and trying to get back above its upward trend line. So let's see if we can push and get above there and maybe stay bullish again. So so there's some hope there for Netflix, which is good. It had a strong day today. And then Tesla, big short squeeze today on anybody who got bearish over the Elon tweets over the weekend. So that's the hardest thing about Tesla is shorting it, right? So it basically squeezed out today. gave you a 64-point range and still an inside day. Right, so it may come back, retest that trend line, and kind of see how it handles that there. If it gets above it, well, hey, Tesla is just being Tesla. It's kind of that type of thing at this point. So good stuff. Michael, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in. Matt, what's happening? BA. Yeah, so BA, guys. I mean, we're tracking. Let's see if it pops up here. There it is. Okay, so there's our triangle right there. I mean, because we closed with the green candle today, right, that means that was a failed triangle breakdown, so all we do is adjust the triangle like that. So we're just kind of in this triangle range right now, still waiting for a breakout one way or the other, either the upside or the downside. But eventually this thing is going to move because it's Boeing. Okay, Lululemon. All right, so pivoting up here off of these levels, right, and now basically contending with the 200-day, 21-day, 50-day. Just kind of see how it holds today. Gave you green right here, but again, just like the market between the 8 and the 21. So see if we can get back above the 8 on that one. And MDT, Medtronic. Kind of curling back right here, a declining 50 moving average. Those are harder for breakouts. I like breakouts when the 50 moving average is working its way up. So definitely something to keep an eye on there and think about. So let's see if we can work its way up here and try to get back above the cloud and maybe start to slowly, eventually, maybe after good earnings, try to get its way above those levels right here. Kind of a cup and handle-ish pattern, sideways cup and handle pattern right here. Here's your start of the cup. Here's your handle. So maybe, potentially, it could get above there and hopefully over the 200-day moving average. So good stuff on those. Yeah, my pleasure. The Nest. Let's take a look at Snap. Snap, crackle, and pop today inside day. So let's see if that can work its way up above today's highs, right, for another test of these levels up here. So Snap's a little bit tricky, guys. It is a slow mover when it moves, so just be careful with that intraday, right? It moves by the pennies and it moves slowly. It makes it a real tough one to trade. Brian, what's going on? WET. That's not sure what that one is, but it's like a water stock or something like that. Let me know. Just type in later which one. Oh, Walmart. That's what I was like. Which one could you be talking about right there? Okay, so yeah, so Walmart, not bad, right? Had a green day the other day. It was the only Dow stock that closed green on Friday, right? And started to work up a little bit on that one today. So it's got some hope right there. It's got these curling moving averages, but a close below those lows could be pretty bearish on it if it wants to. Paul, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in, man. Really appreciate it. Thierry, what's going on? Good evening. Yeah, GDX, we just took a look at there, but let's take another look. GDX, again, bull flag, potential breakout here today. Let's see if we can get over today's highs tomorrow. Boeing. Again, still stuck in that triangle range. We're looking for a breakout one way or the other on that one. Good stuff. Bagesh, what's going on? Good evening. LMT. There's one I haven't looked at in a while. Yeah, nice move on LMT here. So let's take a look. Triangulating, for sure. Okay, still kind of holding up a little bit right here. See how it holds these levels, right? Breakdown, bearish close below today's lows could give a move. A push above these highs right here could give a move to the upside. Getting really tight in there on LMT. It looks like they're waiting for a war. Shack, earnings after hours. Actually up a little bit after hours here. Green day today, good volume. And up a little bit after hours on its earnings report. I'd say Shack has given us some amazing moves, but now it just seems to be calming down a little bit. Can't imagine their outlook is very good, but if they start opening restaurants and everything like that, we might see some more bullishness coming back into Shack. W, earnings coming up, right? Big candle today. Earnings are tomorrow morning on W. So, it's up a little bit after hours, so let's see if they can hold that up through their earnings report tomorrow. Other than that, if it gaps up on earnings, right, this is a good one to look at right here. So even get above these pivot levels right here. There's a high right there, 135.38, right? You might see a little bit of a gap and go, and your next level up here is this 153 level. So let's see what W has in store for earnings. That should be an interesting one. And then now, okay, inside day yesterday, big candle on Thursday, huge candle on Wednesday after earnings, right? It's still trying to get over these highs. So, but I like the inside day up today, right? Let's see how if I can get over these highs, you might be able to tag that, that all-time high right there, right? So that's kind of a big deal on that. So let's see let's see how it does. But yeah, definitely looking bullish here. I like the volume coming in. There's definitely some interest in it, right? So that's good. Thomas, what's going on? USO, we haven't looked at this in a while, but it's still chopping around down here, right? You're probably gonna see some trend lines on this one in a minute. Okay, yeah, it didn't pop up right there, but here's your trend line. So continue to watch. Oh, actually, it's up here. Didn't see that guy there. So it's got some work to do. Might see some sideways action, and then maybe it gets above the downward trend line and works its way back up to the cloud. Good old USO. Bagash. Hope it's a reversal Tuesday. Love the green days. Had enough of the red ones lately. I know. I hear you, man. It's been crazy, but yeah. Hopefully this market continues to try to plow its way up there, and we'll just look for good setups. Mr. Fishbone, what's going on? Will B8 hit its head on the previous triangle trend line above? I know, right? It could. It's BA. I mean, it could chop around for a while, right? It could continue to get tight in here. It could come up here, bounce, 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 bounce. Right? Eventually, this thing's going to get so tight, it's going to move. Just got to wait. And it's Boeing. So we'll see. Yeah, if it can get above there, if it can clock above there with some volume, right, we might be able to see it, really work its way up. Definitely have an eye on it. Dazzling Sensation, what's going on? Roku. Nice move up there today on Roku. Yeah, so guys, we looked at this yesterday. Again, if you saw my Twitter feed on this one, we got a bull flag forming essentially right here. Right, we tagged the bottom of that bull flag on Friday. Right, tagged the upper trend line, and I was like, all right, if it gets bullish, right, it can make a move. Potentially up the 200 day, and look where it is at the 200 day. So earnings this week, let's see if it can break above those highs. Right, next level's up, just 130ish, right, 132, 134. Right, so see if we can give a little earnings run. That would be very interesting to see how it behaves on earnings. AMD, yeah, I mean semiconductors were very, very weak on Friday. Not a lot of the candles themselves kept us out, right? Because a lot of them, if you caught our live stream this weekend, a lot of them, were coming right to the upper trend lines, or there was some lower shadows, right? So we got to bounce on that one, very similar to Roku on that today. So see if that can some follow through the upside, a little less volume, but it's still a nice move. Disney. Earnings coming up tomorrow, or is it tomorrow after the close? Yeah, tomorrow after the close on Disney. So this will be good. This will give us some clues on what Disney wants to do. I've got no idea which way this thing's going to go. It's just a mess in this congestion zone. So hopefully they can maybe report some surprise earnings, even though other parks and movies are closed. But and if they somehow give good outlook, right, it could try to work its way up there. But something to keep an eye on. It's going to be a tough one with all their main sources of revenue out of play. Hey, good stuff. Yeah, my pleasure. Mark, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, my pleasure. Michael, what's going on? Microsoft. Mr. Softy. Let's take a look here. So, good move there on Microsoft today. Nice move. A lot of these just hit the bullish radar this morning, gave you a pullback and another move back up today. So it's decent candle today. Lower volume. Going to contend with this next level up here, this 180 level. It's going to be a big one for it to deal with. Over that, right, they could drift its way up even higher. OSTK. Okay, yeah, nice reversal today. Had a horrible candle yesterday, right? A gap down, which was what you'd expect with a candle like that. And then it just held that 80 MA and just worked its way all the way back up. So, really, really impressive move on Overstock over the last, month and a half or so. I mean, just incredible considering it was $2, right? And then now it's $13. This really is amazing, right? So we've been tracking this one for a while. It was just weak. We go look at that, how it's just like blah 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 blah. Oh, then some volume came out, got to the cloud, right? Some more volume came out, couldn't get over the cloud. Okay, so it started chopping around again. Chop, 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 chop. Corona crash and all that stuff. And then it started getting interesting, right? We started getting out of here, right? We had this nice move up right here. Okay, and then it just kind of calmed down, right? Filled the gap and all that stuff, inside day down. And then this day came out, right? Big candle, big volume, closed over the 50-day moving average, and that just kind of started that move up right there. Gave a nasty pullback, held your next moving average down, right? Your 21 EMA, and then just bounced off of that too. So, big candle today. It's definitely looking aggressive right here. If it wanted to, could try that 1450 level again, and then the fib fan line's up at 16. So yeah, overstock has been in play. Derry, so the Keltner channel settings do you use? Yeah, you can do either one on the Keltners. I just go with the default on it. A lot of people use we just showed a difference between the difference between the two, and they're really not much difference, right? So I just use the defaults that I have on it here, which is your 0, your 1.5. You could read it right here. I think you can read it. Let me actually highlight it right here, see if it pops up at the top. For some reason it doesn't pop up on top there. But yeah, it's just the 0, 1.5, so that your ATR, your distance between the two, is 1.5, right? And then it's the 14 moving average, and it's simple on that. That's what it defaults at in the system. So, and uses the closing moves. So that's what I use. It's pretty cool. There's some other settings on it. To get into it, some other people like to use the exponentials, and they use a two ATR on it. So that's something to look at as well. And then the 20, the same. Instead of the 14, they use the 20. That's Zoom. Last one for you. Oh, it's all good. Let's take a look at Zoom right here. So Zoom, yeah, so it got a little bit of a pop today. It started to show some relative strength at the open and then pulled back. Then it got really scary with those upper shadows. And I was like, okay, this thing's really not in play today. So, but it's got some work to do, to work its way. But it's holding on to its trend line right now. So it's got that going on for it. Session, what's going on? S-Bucks, let's take a look. So S-Bucks was trying to break down today all day, right? It was banging on the 50 moving average, trying to, on the cloud. We were trying to break into the cloud and all that, and we were tracking it intraday. We're like, okay, no, it just is never set up, right? And then boom, they're like, oh yeah, we're gonna open all our stores like this month and next month again in the U.S. And then it's like up, like huge after hours. So that kind of gives you a clue. When this thing couldn't break down, no matter how hard they tried today, right? Something's going on, and boom, you got to move up after hours. That's pretty neat when you see that stuff. Costco, let's take a look. So yeah, so that'll be on the 15-word radar for tomorrow. Costco still holding up pretty well right here, right? Just kind of hanging on. Like we said, Costco likes to chop. Again, one of the things you can look at here is this geometric line right here, and just kind of see if we can break out of that. Maybe it'll give you a little move. V, again, same thing with MA. Let's see how these things come out, right? It's hanging in there, hanging onto the cloud. Green Day, you got over the 80 MA there too, so maybe it could work its way back up to that 181-ish level there at the 200-day. Okta, yeah, lots of strong moves here in like the cloud space today. So cloud computing, all that good stuff. So nice move today, decent volume. Closed over a couple levels today. So let's see if we can get a push back up to those recent highs. And TTD. Yep, very, very similar candles right there. Now, TTD, Okta, those are all looking good right there. So yeah, strong move right there. Let's see if we can continue to push up. If there was three candles contained in here, right, that would be the rising threes method. So that would be pretty cool too. Heather, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it. Hope you're doing well. Jay, what's going on? Nice gap down on lift. Yeah, it was a good one today. Hey, Moemo, what's going on? SOXS. Let's take a look. So the XOSS. Yep, so your semiconductor bearish ETF. So that pulled back a little bit here today, but it's holding on to its ADMA, so it's got some potential to see some more. Jay, Boeing looks great, doesn't it? It's it's just getting really tight in there. So let's get a breakout on this thing and see if it could go. Samir, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in. Here's Boeing. Just kidding, Baba. So nice breakdown, Boeing. We basically walked through this entire move last night. On this one, if you go back through the recording, Archibald had a question about it. We're like, if it breaks down below these lows, you got this gap down here, right? Try to see if we can hit the 200-day and then see if we find support at the cloud. And it did exactly just that. So we're seeing that right now. So we got a lower shot at the cloud, but we are back below the 200, right? So it's kind of bearish, but if the market's weak tomorrow, it's definitely one to look at. And then SE, yep, hanging in there pretty well. Prior resistance levels, still got an upper shadow off of that. I'd like to see it close bullishly, at least above that line, and then maybe we could test those recent highs. So looking good in the neighborhood. Cloud guy, yep, there's another one, AYX. Another cloud one there too. So decent move today. Didn't have the volume that some of its cohorts did, but let's see, this one, earnings coming up. Let's see how it does after earnings. We'll see if we can get back above that cloud again. Cherry, what's going on? Yeah, Shack. Yep, so Shake Shack, earnings after hours. Again, we want to see how much it can gap. It's up 53 right now, so it's still kind of in the cloud. We want to see if we can get over that level tomorrow for a possible gap and go 57.1. We know Shack can do it. It just is. It just depends if it's got the energy to get above those pivot levels. It's good stuff. Rahul, yeah, Shop and Amazon. Yeah, so Shop earnings coming up this week, so just be careful with that. Really high premiums, but big move today. Nice upgrade today. Let's see if we can push above those highs. It's already gapping up a little bit. It's already pushing up a little bit after hours on Shop. And then Amazon really gave a nice move today, guys. I like how it held the 21 EMA. It also held its moving average. It also held its upward trend line. It also held its bull flag bottom. And one of the things I liked about Amazon today, and we've talked about respecting pre-market levels, right? And getting that pre-market data in here, right? So nice triangle here this morning. Got real tight into the open, right? So gave you a quick burst at the open, right? Came back, retested that triangle twice, and then it just launched, right? So really nice move on Amazon this morning. 15-hour breakout, just beautiful stuff on that one today. So it's a nice move on Amazon. Hopefully, premiums will, they're starting to get a little bit more back to normal. And then Cherry, yeah, UVXY. Okay, yeah, so little move back there, rejected the 50 moving average back to the 80 MA. So yeah, so VIX possibly working its way back, right? So your UVXY. So see what that does. Next level down here is like that 42-ish level. Ignore Shaq. Oh, it's all good. YouTube today. Target. Yeah, Target was on the bullish radar here this morning, and it ended up wow. It ended up really getting some nice follow through on this one. It's amazing, to see that. Yeah, so Target, great candle today. See if that gets some follow to the upside. Decent volume came in there. Yeah, we like this one in the 15-hour breakout. Gave a couple pullbacks. Just rode its 80 MA up all day today. Just lovely move on Target today. Very nice. Good. So see if that gets any follow through in that one. And of course, Baidu. This is one of those ones. These Chinese names, Baba, Baidu. If the Chinese tensions continue to increase, these ones are going to be the first ones to get hit. Baidu still has an open gap below, so a breakdown below today's lows might work on that open gap there. Good. Well, good stuff today, guys. I really appreciate everybody tuning in tonight. Awesome chart requests. Great topics this week. So talking about the Bollinger Bands and the Keltner Channels, just kind of getting us started. Tomorrow's going to be a really cool topic combining those two. And then we get some other nice ones at the end of the week as well. So really enjoying this one. So I hope you guys are too. And I hope you guys hope it helps improve your trading and confidence. And I hope everybody has a great one tomorrow. So appreciate again everybody for tuning in. If you're new here, definitely click subscribe on YouTube. And we got one more thing right here. So Alfredo, you got Diz. Yeah, we looked at Diz a little bit earlier. Earnings coming up tomorrow after the close, right? So just kind of in the chop range right here. So let's see how that does. And Heather also is talking about Disney. Disney Plus just put out a Disney Gallery Star Wars The Mandalorian. Oh my goodness. It is a docu-series about the making of The Mandalorian. They also put out Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker today. So that's really cool too. Very nice. Archibald, yeah, my pleasure. Thank you. Mark, so hit like, everyone. That's right, everybody hit like. We need 40 likes. So yeah, so if you're new here, definitely click subscribe on YouTube. Also, please hit the like button. And we do this every market night, so tune in for new technical ideas and chart requests. It's really great, fun stuff, and we get some good questions out there too. And then be sure to check out the links in the description. So I hope everybody has a wonderful evening. Thanks again, everybody, for tuning in. We'll catch you guys tomorrow. Stay healthy out there, and remember your risk first and stay safe so you stay in the game. And I'll talk to you guys soon.